Everybody is focused on very large enterprise clients like Unilever. Nobody is focusing on real small businesses, the real economy. GenAI can create a totally new demand elasticity curve in this segment by automating their whole performance marketing journey. 95% of ads which are run by small businesses do not generate positive return. The choke point in the marketing funnel is actually click-through rates, CTR. It is as low as 0.5%. So you really don't need to depend on any content creator, and also cut short the time and the expense from 3 months to 2 to 3 hours. So if you tell me that you want everything to be automated and run it like a bot machine every day, 3 ads get produced, no. The point is to do 80% through machine, 20% through human. Think like Zara. Zara spots fashion. Zara doesn't create fashion. Agentic is best suited for things which are to be done on a lot more highly frequent nature and can be highly precision automated. There's always going to be a displacement of the role of the human or any living species in the value chain. Machine is looking for patterns. Human is looking for breaking out of the patterns. Imagine he has an encyclopedia summary on his table. Then what he does with it is going to be 10 times much more beautiful than what we were doing for the last 10 years. Listen, I mean, entrepreneurship is hard. It's hard on the knees. It's even harder on the mind. Every time everybody says this blog works or this ad technique works, you have to take it with a pinch of grain of salt.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of AllAboutAI.com's exclusive interview series. Today, we're speaking with Nitin Mahajan, founder of QuickAds, a platform revolutionizing digital ads for small businesses by addressing 95% failure rate with AI-powered automation. We'll discuss how Gen AI creates high-quality video ads and how computer vision is improving costs and click-through rates. Nitin also shares his approach to combining AI with human creativity using the 80-20 rule for more effective marketing. Let's get started.
What is your background? Can you share your professional background and experiences that led you to establish QuickAds.ai?
Sure. First of all, thank you. Thank you for having me over. I have 20 plus years of experience in marketing and technology industry. The first chapter of my life was about building products, consumer products, technology products. And then the last 10 years, the second chapter of my life, as my wife calls it, has been about scaling businesses from a business perspective. So I was a partner at McKinsey, MD at Accenture. And Accenture is actually the world's biggest digital marketing agency. And that's where I realized that even a technology powerhouse like Accenture does not actually combine creativity with AI, with technology to actually productize and automate the whole journey. Everybody is focused on very large enterprise clients like Unilever. Nobody is focusing on real small businesses, the real economy, which is normally led by onshore human agencies running at a very low margin. And that's, to me, the biggest impact lever for Gen AI. Gen AI can create a totally new demand elasticity curve in this segment by automating their whole performance marketing journey, taking away the subjectivity and dependence on local marketing experts to at least, if not 100%, 90%, or 80% at least. That's what we have done with QuickAds to be able to streamline the whole performance marketing journey.
I see. Interesting journey. So, what is basically QuickAds? If you can elaborate a bit and its core offerings.
QuickAds is nothing but quickly to make ads, but more importantly, ads that click. And we are only focused on people who are young marketeers trying to build and automate their whole journey. There are three fundamental problems, but before that, the fundamental question is why? Why do we even do this? The biggest 60% of GDP in any country is driven by small businesses. The biggest impact thus you can have on the country of the GDP, but also small businesses, is through their revenue growth, and the revenue growth is rightly linked to marketing. The more you can do with better marketing, the better the revenue, the better the country's GDP, and the better the society as a whole. So that's a bigger mission. And what is stopping us or businesses from achieving that? Do you know that 95% of ads which are run by small businesses do not generate positive return? Let me repeat, 95% of ads which are run by small businesses do not generate positive return. On an average, the choke point in the marketing funnel is actually click-through rates, CTR. It is as low as 0.5%. That means out of 100 ads that you show it to a customer, on less than 1% actually clicks on it. That's the area we are attacking. Because what's and why and how do you solve for that? The reason for that is, number one, you have no idea, or the classical agencies have no idea what type of ads or what type of content is working well. Yes, you can call it A/B testing, but that basically means you need to test 10 different ideas which are likely to work. So we have first of all figured out the problem, and I'll go deeper into it on what to build your content strategy with data on what the latest best performing ads in your industry, in your country for your use case out there. Number two, once you have that, not depend on a human creator, be able to do 80% of that journey through AI, both image, but also video ads. In fact, you are the first one that we are publicly announcing to. We have just gone live with our video ads, including UGC AI ads with almost Hollywood quality lip syncing. So you really don't need to depend on any content creator, and also cut short the time and the expense from 3 months to 2 to 3 hours. Number three, finally, once you have everything, still tested using computer vision to be able to tell you what is the likely performance score, is it complying to the brand guidelines, etc. or not. So what to build it for you much cheaper, much more effectively, test it and deploy it and run as a campaign. The cycle repeats itself. Right now, the whole process does not have data. The process is broken into 10 different tools, 5 different agencies. It's a mess. It's a spaghetti would be an understatement. Bringing it on into one common content creation platform, but backed by data, backed by genuine computer vision, and make it so affordable for less than $50, that too is a game changer.
I see. I think most of the time small businesses do not value the concept or maybe the importance of marketing. And if they know, they don't know, they don't have enough guidelines. They don't have the brand value. What is brand? What is
Yeah.
should be your branding elements, of course. These actually all the big businesses are somewhere small. So we have to make them big as well. Interesting. So how do you ensure that the balance between automation and maintaining fun touch in the advertisement generated by your platform?
Automation and?
Automation and maintaining a kind of a human touch. Again,
Oh, that's a great point, actually.
yeah.
Here is a controversial statement. As much as we are an AI company, we in fact boldly say that marketing cannot and should not be fully automated. If a customer comes to us and says, there are 3 reasons why we do not take on customers. If they're a large enterprise, they do more than 5 million in revenue, we don't want you. Number two, if you tell me that you want everything to be automated and run it like a bot machine every day, 3 ads get produced, no. The point is to do 80% through machine, 20% through human. Human may be your agency, maybe your in-house marketing manager, or could be through us. We are also offering that service. Now, that's how, to your point, you maintain a balance. Now, let's talk about automation or how can you smartly learn it. To your point, actually, funny enough, you mentioned, how do you know what your brand guidelines are? How do you communicate that to an agency? How do they interpret it and apply that correctly? That's all subjective. But the fact is, computer vision is advanced to the point that we can do that. So you just tell us your Instagram or a YouTube handle. We will look at your previous videos, or you tell us, I like Nike's video or McDonald's video, basically some 5 reference videos or images. From that, we will understand your brand aesthetics to the point of what type of lighting do you prefer, what type of style, brand tone, aesthetics, call to action, what do you prefer out there? That's what we use to create new content for you in your brand guidelines without you even having to explain it in a subjective way out there. 20% human element is to edit it. If you don't like it, you want to move something up, you want to regenerate an image, you should definitely try and do that. That's the mission. That's what we have put it into reality.
More of a brand building. Sounds like a more brand building of as well, the way your processes are. Interesting. So how does QuickAds AI differentiate itself from other AI advertising platforms in the market? What do you think? What is your USP?
So first of all, there are hundreds of, literally 103 AI ad creator tool. It's one of the easiest things to do perhaps nowadays. But unfortunately, most of them are not domain specific. They really do not understand what does it take to build a good ad.
Okay.
Number two, they do not have the data on what are the best performing ads out there. And number three, prove it to me one platform which has ads library, image and video ads, pre-testing of ad creatives, and run it as a campaign. No one. So we have the breadth and the depth of the data and the domain knowledge to be able to do so. Let me give it to you the examples and not just high-level English talk. When you're doing copywriting, when you're deciding what headline to put or what message to put out there, for an e-commerce client or e-commerce sellers, let's say D2C seller, the right way to do that is a marketer would first look at Amazon reviews of you, your competition, your industry, and figure out the keywords that the customers are appealing towards, because that's the voice of the customer. No tool does that. We do that. Number two, depending on what stage the customer is in marketing textbooks, we were taught a stage 1 customer, which is unaware of the problem, has to be told and communicated differently than a stage 5 customer where you're retargeting. So we understand what people are looking for, your brand tone, what stage the customer is in, to be able to do the copywriting for that. That's the domain knowledge, and that's the gap we felt in the market, where anybody can create an image and put some text out there. But how do you stand out and then improve your click-through rates is only when you know what to build and do it in a way which is efficient.
I see, of course, because I think many times you don't know exactly where we are. What's the problem? Maybe we actually as a brand, I'm just building product, but if I don't know the problem, what the consumers are facing, my brand would be nothing, just a good, kind of a showpiece. So, okay, talking about the AI. So, in what ways does QuickAds utilize AI to enhance the ad creation and management process? That 80% you mentioned. So, what exactly that 80% includes?
A great point. Three things. The biggest lever nowadays is that you have to create a lot of creators. The placement and the campaign management is reasonably well automated by the platforms. Now, what to make is the holy grail. Like, for example, and the analogy for that is visible from the blogs industry. Anybody can write a blog, ask ChatGPT, you can dump anything. But what topics that you pick up, what keywords that you pick up, and then how smartly do you bring your domain or your niche knowledge still makes the blog relevant. It is not irrelevant. The bar has gone higher. Same thing on visual content creation. The bar is getting higher and higher because anybody can make an image. Now anybody can make a video. So what to make the video on? What should be the hook? What should be the opening line? What should be the script? That's what we find from our ads library. So we have every day millions of ads being collected and analyzed by industry, where to the point we understand using our proprietary computer vision in this scene, this is the type of marketing framework that they're using. This is the opening hook that they're using. This is the type of music that they're working with. This is how they're creating shock and awe. Or if your competition is changing patterns, then we will observe that. To be able to say that, let's say you're selling cosmetic product, then for cosmetics on TikTok, these are the 10 best performing scripts which are upcoming. Think like Zara. Zara spots fashion. Zara doesn't create fashion. So we just spot the ad patterns very quickly because we're looking at so many ads library every day and analyzing them using computer vision. So we are able to at scale tell you for, let's say, for cosmetics versus an accountant versus an AI media company, what is the type of script, what is the type of framework that you should be using out there, and then using that to be able to create a image or a video ad for you in your brand language that we talked about. So that whole process is 80% automated. You enter your URL, we'll figure out what industry it is. For that, what type of ad concept to build, create 10 variations for you. You can approve it, edit it, test it again for compliance and product performance perspective, and run the campaign for you. And then every week it learns what worked, what did not work, what worked, what did not work.
Wow, that's such a detail-oriented, you can say, processes you guys follow. So you mentioned e-com, you mentioned Zara, you like fashion industry. So what industry basically you guys are targeting? It's for every industry, or maybe some industry you are just saying, no, we're not dealing with it.
That's a good point. You always have to make choices in life. So actually, there are two parts to it. QuickAds is our software platform, which is PLG, product-led growth motion. We are primarily focused again on small businesses and small marketing agencies, primarily around e-commerce, D2C sellers, and professional services and lead generation agencies. Those are our priority segments, primarily focused on US and Europe markets, because that's where the cost of labor is so high that we think it can create a much better impact out there.
I see, I see. So don't you think it's more of a marketing agency as well, because you guys are doing branding and then advertising, of course. It's more of a, you can say, an AI agency in your system that actually deals with everything from your branding to marketing when it comes to customer interactions.
I want to correct you. We are not a branding or a marketing agency. We are a platform. And yes, we offer a human support also if you want. If you still can't get your video done, we will do it for you. We are doing three aspects. Number one is content strategy, what to build, including what your competition is doing, what frameworks are they using. So everything you need to know from a content strategy perspective or ad strategy perspective. That's the first module. Second is to be able to create like Canva, but 10 times faster, image, or like Premiere Effect, but simpler video ads out of that. So content creation, content execution, and then campaign execution.
And it's all related to media, right? Like, for example, only the ads, you could be video ads, right? It's not something else like pictures or content like blogging, something like it. No,
No,
it's
we
just
don't
like
do, we do only visual
visual content. All right,
so
makes sense. Makes
images
sense.
and videos. Now you can use them as posts or ads. That's your choice.
Definitely. That makes sense. So have you heard about you must have, of course, in the AI industry, agentic AI. where systems autonomously perform tasks. It's gaining traction these days. So how does QuickAds incorporate agentic workflows into its operations?
That's a good point. There's a lot of potential out there because you're democratizing knowledge. Let me tell you what we do not believe in. We do not believe actually in campaign execution for small businesses to be agentic, because agentic is best suited for things which are to be done on a lot more highly frequent nature and can be highly precision automated. Campaign execution is not there yet because it has 100 different variables to look and play with. So we actually do not recommend creating agents for that. What we do recommend is actually for content strategy, so that you're able to get every week a recommendation or every day a recommendation on what type of content is doing well, so that you're always up to date with new ideas out there. Just like Zara sending people to the mall every day. So every day we will give you new fashion ideas. Will give you new content ideas on what to build out there. That's a unique fingerprint on which we believe.
Fine. So what are your thoughts on potential of AI agents in transforming businesses' processes, particularly in advertising?
Absolutely huge potential out there. Again, agents, there are one-time agents and there are regularly running agents. So regular running agents, as I mentioned, content strategy, content insights, competition spying, huge potential out there, because right now that's not happening as much a human could do out there.
Yeah.
From one-time agent perspective, again, advertising from with respect to talking to customers, getting customer insights actually can be done at scale. You don't need market research agencies. You can do it much more scale using conversational AI agents out there.
I see. Yes, of course. We don't need any such agencies these days. So talking about the ethical consideration in industry debates, recent discussion have raised concern about AI generated content, such as the backlash against AI models used by brands like Mango. How does QuickAds address ethical considerations in AI generated advertising?
That's a great point, especially with video, where it's lip syncing and writes. It's going to have its edge cases. We are all learning. I'm not going to say nobody's perfect out here, but I think there are three things out there. Number one, especially for our AI UGC content, we have signed a lot of declarations on that you have the access rights to be able to do lip syncing on it, etc. Number two, when the lip syncing or the voice has been generated, we look out for some obscene words or NFSW content to make sure that Rohel is not speaking things which he should not be speaking to. Number three, it is a lot more, frankly, at the end of the day, of making people ownership and accountable. So we are actually also putting a human layer ultimately on top of it as a content moderation to make sure that still nothing passes through the algorithms and can backfire.
Makes sense. They're justified. So what measures are in place to ensure transparency and authenticity in the ads produced by your platform?
We are providing that services to our customers as well. Okay. Who want that. But authenticity and transparency, or more of authenticity, is where does authenticity come from? It's the voice of the customer. It is your materials in your tone, which makes it look authentic enough. Yeah. Because you can make similar, but you should not be using the same. You can take inspiration, but you should not be copying to be exactly the same out there. So that's where the system actually promotes inspiration. So you take a reference ad, and that's how we create a similar ad out of it. Because you are forced to change your words and the imagery out there.
So there's an ongoing debate about AI potentially overshadowing human creativity. How do you view the relationship between human creativity and AI automation in advertising?
That's a good point. Any kind of automation or machines come in, there's always going to be a fear. There's always going to be a displacement of the role of the human or any living species in the value chain. That's inevitable. We cannot stop it. We cannot fight it with regulation. The way we look at it is, the bar for the content is only getting higher. So for example, if you look at real e-commerce right now, it's more and more shifting towards live shopping in many markets, especially China and increasingly in Europe, etc. also now. Because people trust live shopping, we will find it more engaging out there. Now, so that's taking away what a classical automation would have done with respect to creating nice images and putting them on Amazon, raises the bar out there. But a human still has a role to play out there. But second, more importantly, the 20%, that human factor that I keep talking about, that polish, that human edge out there, that's still subjective. That's still the art and the prerogative of the business owner or the marketing manager on what to put out there, what color he thinks will work it out there. Going beyond, machine is looking for patterns. Human is looking for breaking out of the patterns. And that's where freeing up the human time so that 80% of the time is not going and making rote stuff. He's fed all the information, he reviews and frees up his time to be able to do 10 times more what is getting versus getting sucked into doing boring rote monotonous process. For example, looking at what competition ads are running, what to build, what not to build. Let's feed him all the information. Like imagine he has an encyclopedia summary on his table. Then what he does with it is going to be 10 times much more beautiful than what we were doing for the last 10 years.
Amazingly defined. Amazing. So what upcoming features or developments can user expect from QuickAds like in coming years?
It's a never-ending field. As I said, marketing
True,
cannot be automated. New patterns keep
true,
coming up. So
true.
we are going deeper into automating even more, looking at your own content and stitching it in together. That's some unique innovation which is coming up. We are working a lot more towards improving how the voice quality should sound much more emotions around it, and working a lot more around our video ads in particular to like make it 10 times better than the current status quo technology out there.
I wish you good luck with that. So drawing from your entrepreneur journey, what advice would you offer to individuals looking to start their own ventures in the AI or maybe in any industry or maybe advertising sector?
First of all, I really think everybody should at least once start something of their own. I also do a lot of angel investments, and I'm always supportive of people trying it out on their own. At least they will know they are an entrepreneur or how hard it is to be an entrepreneur versus making comments out there. I think the advice would be number one, venture capital is not for everyone. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong or evil. Think it very carefully on what you are building. Number two, spend a lot of time, at least 6 to 12 months, going deep into the idea. Don't rush into execution, fail fast, fail cheap mindset. That's only when you really know what you are doing. Spend 6 to 12 months really, really understanding the nuances, speak to hundreds of customers, ecosystem partners, build a prototype if you can, make somebody pay $1 for it, then only commit yourself for the next 5 years for it. And if you don't believe in it, and often 90% people will get over the idea in 6 months, don't follow it. It's really hard out there. There's no romantic winner scenario every time.
Yeah, consistency is very important. And that a year or two you're talking about, 5, 6 months, that actually reflects here whether you are consistently want this or not. That also reflects how passionate are you with that. So anyway, what challenges have you faced, and what do you think how an entrepreneur, like you have a 20 years experience, so how a person or how an entrepreneur should navigate them effectively?
Listen, I mean, entrepreneurship is hard. It's hard on the knees. It's even harder on the mind. Let's be honest. Number one, I think you have to be very, very resilient and given for the next 5 years. There will be challenges every day. You will have employee issues, partner issues, customer issues. You will always have self-doubt on if it's working, is it the right idea? Because the world doesn't need another startup. The world doesn't need another cosmetic company.
Yeah.
You have to believe in the idea. You have to find your niche, and you have to keep grinding. No, most successful startups went through at least 2 or 3 pivots. It took at least 2 to 3 years to find the product market fit. So accept that reality, accept that it will take some pivots, even if you're a rocket science genius. And those pivots may be soft, they may be hard, but only the customer will tell you, and you will only get to know when you show the product out there.
Amazing. We'll definitely share with them, with our audience. So what drives your passion for innovation in the advertising industry?
It's not just advertising, it's marketing industry or small businesses in general. That's just because as I said, I mean, the fact is GDP is contributed by small businesses.
All right.
Post AI, I think there will be a lot more small companies and professionals starting their own. Let's make them successful. If I can't make them successful, then what's the life worth living for? I've done a lot for the large companies.
So
Why not do it for the real economy?
well said, well said. So how do you just stay yourself informed and adaptable in the rapidly evolving landscape of AI and digital marketing?
That's a good point. It's changing so much, and a lot of it is subjective. Some guru, some giving some theory it works, it doesn't
Yes.
work. Number one is read a lot. I think you have very
Okay.
different sources of channels from Twitter to Reddit. You have to read a lot. Number two, you have to filter a lot. Every time everybody says this blog works or this ad technique works, you have to take it with a pinch of grain of salt. Give you some confidence. It may work in this condition, but may not work after 10,000 people copy it, but filter a lot. So read a lot, filter a lot. And number three, use your own judgment at the end of the day, which comes over time. You can't just have it on day one on this headline will work or not work. It takes time.
Experience matters. Your exposure, experience matter. So thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you would like to share about QuickAds or your perspective on the future of AI in advertising?
No, it's been a pleasure talking to you. If anybody wants to try it out or need a coupon code to try it out or wants to chat and be part of the ecosystem, very happy to.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much for your time, sharing experience, insights, again, about evolving landscape of AI-driven world. We wish you good luck for all your endeavors. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.